The transcript itself is an impeachable offense. What the president said on the transcript, is that an impeachable offense? I think it's ridiculous to say that the president did something wrong based on the phone call. And I think everybody in the media should go to a Democrat and ask them, why aren't you voting to open up an impeachment inquiry?
That, of course, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Senator Lindsey Graham on Sunday Morning Futures this morning, talking about the House Democrats' impeachment inquiry that Republicans say is one-sided. This is the White House is preparing to send a letter to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, refusing to cooperate with document requests until she holds a full floor vote on this matter. Republicans charging they are being denied due process. Philip Rugman joins us, White House reporter for Real Clear Politics. So, Phil, do you think that the Speaker will bend under the White House pressure and hold this vote that they are demanding?
Well, there's a lot at stake if she does bend to that pressure. First of all, if there is a full House vote, like something that occurred during the Nixon impeachment and then also during the impeachment of Hillary Clinton, the issue here will be that you'll be placing vulnerable freshman Democrats, guys who in 2018 went to their constituents and said, vote for me because I'm not just here to obstruct the president. Instead, I actually care about these kitchen table issues. If you hold that vote, you'll be forcing those freshmen to actually come down on this issue. It also will raise the question, if you hold that vote, about what rights the minority party will get. Because what happens right now is minority leader Kevin McCarthy, he wants subpoena power and he wants to have everything at his disposal to fight back against this inquiry.
You know, talk about subpoena power. Republicans are criticizing the Democratic move, saying they don't have subpoena power. They say it's a one-sided process, basically kind of like a star chamber in their view. Is there any truth to that?
Well, right now, the argument coming from Kevin McCarthy and other Republicans in the House, as well as the White House, is that, you know, Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House. Yes, she has that authority, but she's still just one elected member of Congress. They're pointing to the U.S. Constitution, saying it requires the entire body to agree to move forward with this. That's the debate right now, because they want the rights that were, afforded to past minority parties during past impeachment. And this is the sort of technical thing. This is the sort of like nitty gritty that, you know, a voter could say, wait a minute, you know, I'm all for oversight, but there's something to due process. And this seems like a political fight, not one that's actually based on, you know, holding the president to standards of good conduct.
Yeah, you talk about due process. I mean, the Democrats, we see them calling in the ambassadors for the questions, you know, behind closed doors. Who would the Republicans bring in? Is it possible that they would subpoena Joe Biden himself and Hunter Biden and ask him these questions about the Ukrainian contacts?
Well, this is the sort of can of worms that we're getting ourselves into right now, because when it comes to this experiment in self-government, you know, it's almost limitless about what powers can do outside of, without violating norms, without violating, standards that are put into the U.S. Constitution. But, you know, a lot of Republicans at this point, they don't just want to see a text message here or a text message there from Ambassador Volker. They want to see the entire evidence, and that has been their complaint so far against Chairman Schiff. They want to see the entire body of evidence, and they say that Democrats should take a play out of the playbook of the president, who released the entire transcript of his call with his Ukrainian counterpart, and they want Democrats to do something similar now.
Yeah, you know, just take a look at some of the president's tweets. He says the Biden family was paid off, pure and simple. There's no way these can be legitimate transactions. He says Sleepy Joe won't get to the starting gates based on money, and his family probably, quote, extorted. So you think that the Republicans would raise this issue? Here's the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, talking about that earlier today.
First of all, even if it is pressuring Ukraine, it's a lot different than what Biden did, since the purpose of questioning is to get a criminal investigation about a scandal at the highest level of our government uncovered that the Washington press has been covering up for 3 years deliberately, and about which they are now going after me personally because they want to get me, the messenger, so they don't have to deal with their honey boy Biden, who's been a crook for 30 years. Sorry, I've gone after crooks a lot tougher than him.
That's pretty strong and pretty powerful. I mean, bottom line is that's what the Republicans want. Are they going to get that?
Well, the administration and certainly the president's personal lawyer at this point, they feel like they're in the bunker at this point. You know, I first learned about Hunter Biden's business dealings in Ukraine and China long before impeachment, and it was through coverage, you know, by many media here in Washington, D.C. What's interesting is right now there's the question of whether or not what Hunter Biden did, was it illegal? At this point, you know, there are some who say, no, it wasn't. But at the same time, it is unseemly. The American people do not like to see children of presidents or vice presidents trading off of their parents' name. It might not be illegal, but it's the sort of crony capitalism that time again and again shows us that voters just don't like. So this is certainly a liability for the Biden campaign, and I imagine that we'll see the White House continue to talk about corruption, even if there is no illegality found.
And finally, what do you think is going to happen?
Finally, what do I think is going to happen? I think that, you know, this has been a sort of slow burn. Nancy Pelosi has been doing everything that she can to hold back her caucus for just long enough. We saw with the Mueller investigation, there was, you know, there were some things that were unseemly there, but there was no there that you could take to the American people and force the impeachment issue. With the Ukraine letter, with the transcript that we just saw, it's much more simple. Now, both arguments have, you know, both sides have good arguments to, you know, buttress their position. But I think that eventually what we will see happen is Nancy Pelosi is going to move forward with impeachment, and Mitch McConnell is going to hold up his end of the bargain. I think that, you know, if looking at this purely through a partisan standpoint, I think that it would not be unlikely to see the House impeach, and it would also not be unlikely to see the Senate dismiss.
All right. We'll see what happens in the coming couple of months. Philip Wegman of Real Clear Politics. Philip, thank you.
Thank you, sir.